Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Tiny Codes. In this tutorial I'm going to talk to you guys about getting user input. I know I have touched there and there about getting user input, and I've given you a few examples, but today I decided to make a full tutorial about it so that I can explain you guys in depth on how to get user input. So I hope you like the video. Before I start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment in the comment section, and also share this video to anyone who you think might be interested in learning C++. And let's get right into it. So today I'm actually going to be using code blocks as my IDE. When we're dealing with programs and doing coding, we're going to deal with so many types of information, and the most important type of information that we might want to use is the user information. So for us to get that user information, the user has to input their own information, which means we have to type in a code which we're going to allow the user to input their own information and data. Then we have to use that information to do different things and put in different outputs. That's what we'll be doing this tutorial. So basically I'm going to show you guys how to receive that user input. So essentially, when you want to receive input or data from the user, you want to store that data somewhere so that you can be able to retrieve it and use it and output whatever the user needs to know. So in order to do that, to declare a variable. So let's say I want to declare a variable where the user is going to input their age or their name. Firstly, when I want to declare the variable, so you're gonna say int for the age and then name your variable. So every time you want to name your variable, in the sense where even a different person, if they read your code, they can be able to identify what the variable is. So you name your variable according to its use. So you wouldn't want to say int a or int b or int whatever. So you want to say int age or int any name that's meaningful and easy to understand and readable. So you want to say maybe int age if you want to receive input from the user that's going to be their age. And then as you can see here, we did not assign variable because we want the user to input their own variable. If we didn't want the user to input their variable, we could have just said equals to, and it's going to be 16 or 23, I guess. So like this, we have already input our own age. So we've hard coded our own age, and then when we console out, it's going to console out 23. But sometimes we don't know the age of the user, so you want the user to input their own age. You're just going to declare your age variable and then name it and just put your semicolons. So this will allow the user to input their own age, and so we did not assign anything to the age. So there's no, the age container is not containing anything, so it's empty. So you want the user to input their own age inside that container. That's why we didn't use the equal sign, assign the variable to anything. So after that, you wanna put in a code that's going to receive the user input or store the user input. So we're gonna use the cin command. So you're going to say cin, and we're gonna put in our variable name. So what this is telling the computer that we want to input data from the console, and whatever the data that the user has inputted, we're going to put it in our age storage, so in our age variable. So whatever the user is going to input, we're going to put it in our age storage. Cin and then age, and then we could just say cout and then age, but then we want the user to know that they should input their own age. We want to prompt the user to input their own age so that the user knows what to do when they use your program. So if you don't tell them the information that you want, the user will not know what to input inside your console, or inside your program, or inside whatever you're trying to build, or the information that you're trying to receive from the user. To prompt the user, we're going to say cout. Now put in our inverted commas.
Please input your age.
So with this, the user is going to know what to input or what kind of information we need from him or her. and we're gonna put in our semicolon. So essentially what we've done here so far, we've declared our variable, our integer type variable, and then we've named our variable age, and then we've prompted the user to input their age because we want the user to know what to do when they first open our program or whatever we're trying to build. After that, we store the age inside our scene comment so that we can retrieve it later. So after that, what you want to do is to output whatever the user needed to do. So you just want to output something for the user. So we're going to use our cout command. We're going to say cout UR, and then we're going to call our age again so that whatever the user has input, we've stored it so we can retrieve it later. So retrieving whatever the user has input. So essentially we could have just said you are 15 years old, and that would be false because we don't know what the user has inputted. Maybe the user has inputted 105, and then us we just come here and say you are 17 years old. That would give us false information, and that would make the user not to want to use your program again because you're putting in false information. So we just want to call in whatever the user has inputted, and then so you are whatever age old. So this is going to input CRUR, and then the age that the user has inputted old. So let's run our program and see how it works. So it says please input your age. Our user knows what to input, so we've prompted the user to input their age. So we're just gonna input my age, and then it says you are 19 years old. So you can also get a string from the user. So obviously we're not going to use this cin command because we want to receive a whole string from the user. Say you want to receive the user's name, so obviously here we're going to declare our data type as a string, and then our variable name as an age, and then just gonna change over here too. So we won't use this cin line or a cin command. Instead, we're going to use something called getline command. So getline essentially is going to like help us get the whole line. So maybe the user wants to input their name and their surname. So the getline command helps us to get the whole sentence or the whole string. So this getline command, we want to pass in some parameters or argument. So first we're gonna say cin, and then we're gonna put in our comma, and we're gonna put in our variable name, and then we're gonna say name. So if it was maybe age, we're gonna put in age, or maybe type of color, then we're gonna put in type of color. So I think we should also change it and just say your name is, and then remove all of these. And so essentially what the getline is going to help us, it's going to help us receive the whole sentence. So maybe the user has like 5 names and their surname, so we're going to be able to retrieve all of that instead of the cin command where we just receive one word. So with the getline, just it enables us to receive the whole line and store the whole line. So let's run our program and see how we did. So here's our prompt: input your name. So we're gonna input in, so maybe the user has like 2 names, their first name and their middle name and their surname, and then gonna press enter. Then it's gonna say okay, it's gonna say yo is Leata Grace, or we're supposed to say you are you are. Here we go. So let's run our program so we can properly see our results because that's time. So here we go. Please input your name. So we're gonna say here. So let's say this is my full name. So you are Lerato Grace Kate Liwayo. So essentially that's how we use our get line. So this works really when you wanna like receive the whole line, or wanna receive like a string of text, like not more than one word. So maybe wanna receive their name and their surname. This is how we use our get line. So this is how we receive data from the user and store it and input our data. So that's all for today. So in my next video, it's going to be an exciting video. We're going to build a calculator, a very simple calculator. So click that notification bell so that you can be notified when I publish that video, and thank you for watching.